Hey, good morning, everybody. It's early morning to LALATE. It's the bottom of the hour, the 6:30 edition. Hope you're good and safe. Breaking developments overnight as millions of Americans are wondering when their stimulus check will land in their hand. And now the promise is this new CR. Well, it's not a new CR. It's just the new deadline for the CR, December 11th. Continuing resolution, the budget bill. That has to be done by December 11th. It's usually not done the last day. It's done weeks ahead of time. And now the push is underway to get the stimulus into the CR, and that may be ultimately the big negotiation move by the Republicans. Put stimulus checks, FPUC, in the CR and say, take it or leave it. We're shutting down the government. Lord. Meantime, what about $2,400 if you're on SSI and SSDI? Where would that be? And then more viewers continue to get big grants. Big grants, $5, $10, $15, $20,000. You should be next. I'm going to go over that more in this video. It's a great day. It's a Monday morning. I'm so glad you joined me. And this is the bottom of the hour on Early Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's early mornings LALATE, the 6:30 edition. Hope you're good and safe. You didn't save me bacon, did you? The toast is toast and the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and we're about to crush the Monday. Well, as long as the Monday doesn't crush us. Lord, and how about those Packers? Wow. So it is Monday, and it may be fun day for the Republicans because they're allegedly going to put stimulus in the continuing resolution CR budget bill. You're like, what the hell is that thing? I've learned so much from you, Elliot, but what the hell is a CR? It's a continuing resolution bill, a bill that funds the federal government. It's done every few months, and it's called just by its vernacular CR. And there's a new push to get stimulus in it, which would give a deadline of that or not paying Congress. Sound familiar? Yeah, it sounds very evil, and I love it. Our stimulus, so you get nothing. Yes, and so if you're not subscribed, please do, because in this video and this channel throughout the day and throughout tomorrow and continuing all the way up to December 15th, I will continue to get viewers money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 months from now, and not 5 years from now. I'm getting a fortune of money for viewers because they are owed this money. This is money given to them by the federal government. It was handed to the states, who then gave it to the cities and counties, and the money's about to be gone. So you got to get the money soon. In December 15th, it's gone, and you don't want to be sitting around saying, why did I get this? Ultimately, I want you to get all of the money, as many of the items that you qualify for, and for some of you, you qualify for all of them. Rent, utilities, food, EIDL, escalated benefits, and more. And meantime, in this video, I'll be going over a little bit of EIDL and more about CARES Act 1 as well. And over here, what are they doing? What are they doing over there? They're just moving. The screen is moving. What are they doing? They're like, it's a live chat. It's a super chat. If you're joining me at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's an instant premiere. And so the show is premiering and features a live chat as it debuts. The same thing's featured at the 6 a.m. show, which if you missed it, I drop in the pinned comments of this video. So join the chat. Familiar faces, the same familiar faces every morning. It's about 60,000 viewers who tune into Early Morning to LALATE, and it's just a great way to start your day. It's a great community, and everyone is really kind to each other, so thank you for tuning in. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that millions of Americans are wondering where their stimulus check is, when it's coming, what's going off FPUC, what's going off UI, and why are there lockdowns and you're not giving me stimulus? I mean, let's be frank. You're putting me on lockdown, you're not giving me stimulus? In the state of New Mexico, they said, we're not going to do that. We're going to give you stimulus before you put on lockdown. And just less than a week ago, Joe Biden's chief negotiator said, I think the best solution is to give millions of the entire U.S. population stimulus and then put them on lockdown. Well, guess what? The Democratic leadership so far has not done that, nor has the Republicans. But it's the Democrats who are now eyeing a trouble on the horizon, and the Republicans eyeing a win on the horizon. And the win is ultimately a win for you. Finally, a couple of things that you need desperately right now. An extension of PUA. It's expiring late December. An extension of FPUC or UI. It's expiring December. FPUC, which goes on top of UI and PUA, except when they expire. Can't go on top of something that's expired. Uh, uh, Another round of FPUC and retroactive. A student loan repayment forgiveness moratorium, a rent eviction moratorium extension expired in December, and a foreclosure moratorium also expired in December. Now there's a move by the Republicans, says a new report, to put it in the CR and get it done by a December 11th deadline, or say, you know what? We're shutting down the federal government. See you Inauguration Day, which may not happen because it's now shut down. It's really quite delicious. It's just, it's better than a slice of bacon. It's basically saying, hey, we're not going to give you your money unless you give millions of Americans their money. Oh my, it's so evil. I just love it. And this is actually what apparently Republicans want to do. And why do they want to do it? I haven't answered that question yet, so let me answer this question in this recording. Because the CR starts in two places. It can start in the Senate, it can start in the House. It's a normal bill. Like any bill, a bill can start in the Senate or it can start in the House. The bill, as discussed in this video, would start in the Senate and say, here we are. And then Nancy's guys look at it and it's like, what is this thing? This is horrible. What is this? It's like, sorry, you got to prove it because we're not doing your thing this time. Well, my way, the highway. No, okay, you want the highway? Then there's the highway, and we're not signing a bill. There's no government. So bye-bye. We shut down the government. What do you mean shut down the government? Then, children going hungry. It's, everything that you hope for would implode if you're Nancy Pelosi, if you don't agree to this. You have to, in a way, agree to this because there's no way around it. There's literally no negotiation around avoiding and this sort of, legislative blackmail, and it's so delicious. Now, how do we make it to our benefit beyond what is discussed in this video? Is to get up as Purple Power and be very vocal and loud with the new hashtag CR for stimulus and say, hey, put stimulus in the CR. So make sure that they stay on point. Make sure they do it. Stimulus in the CR for stimulus. And then say, hey, how about the stimulus check? Let's repurpose that CARES Act 1 money. Yes, let's repurpose that CARES Act 1 money. $800 billion, it would amount to a $5,000 stimulus check. Let's repurpose it. Then how about you do FPUC retroactive to July? Then why don't we do FPUC at $400 a week? Now, Mitch is going to probably want to do FPUC at $295 a week and do it retroactive to September or yesterday, But the article says he wants to start it at $250 a week for FPUC, and he'll go maybe as high as $400. I don't think he's going to go $400. And then he wants to do it retroactive to September. I mean, even $300 retroactive to September is a nice check. That's September, October, November, December. That's 4 months times 4 weeks. That's 16 weeks. About, let's say about 20 weeks times 300. It's about a $5,000 check. Bam, right in your account right now during the holidays, with additionally a stimulus check. So if you're on unemployment, that'd be $5,000 plus $1,200. That's $7,000 stimulus during the holidays. That would make a big difference for a lot of Americans. $7,000 right now during the holidays. That's a big difference for millions of Americans. All right, so now let me turn to SSI and SSDI and Social Security and Railroad benefits. The $2,400 the item would not be in the CR. And it's likely not to be in the stimulus package either. It's likely to be in its own bill. That's $2,000 every month from now all the way up to December of next year, upwards of $2,400 or $4,000 under the Warren version of the bill, with a 20% lifetime update, lifetime step up one time that would raise you. If you're being paid $1,000 a month, you get $1,200 a lifetime, and then an annual step up based upon a new indicator other than COLA. So it would be tied to something that shows whether the federal government should raise your benefits each year, and that item would be not COLA but another benchmark that moves more frequently, and that's all really good news. But that would likely be its own standalone bill. So then comes money right now. Money right now. Money, 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 money. I mean, this is why the power of this channel works, because it took about 48 hours of recording videos on this channel, other subject matter, about 10 days ago, for people to understand what I'm talking about. What are you talking about? Where is this? I've never heard of this thing. And then suddenly when the success stories started coming in, then it's sort of domino effect, because people saw someone else get 15 and that person got 28,000, this person got 15,000, this person got 10,000. I better go get it. And suddenly you saw people realizing that this thing worked. It's sort of like once the first few people got it, then everyone started swarming in and getting it. And this is what's really good. What's even better about this is that according to some reports, certain cities are going live or had just gone live on rent grants that didn't even have it a few days ago. That was what I said in the very first recording of this series, which was there's all this money they have to use or lose, and the money they're about to lose is about to be lost in just a few weeks. So they're rushing to send this out right now. And so you need to go to your city, your county, your state housing authority. I'm going to say again, your city hall, your county hall, and your state housing authority. Those are the three. I don't mean your governor's office. I don't mean your police chief. I mean your city hall, your county hall, and your state housing authority, and ask if they have any rental assistance because you're having problems paying your rent. Any utility assistance if you're having problems paying your rent. I always get questions, and I just sometimes I forget that I have to make things even super, super obvious. One person last night on Purple Power Live said, "So what's the difference between a rent grant and rental assistance?" I'm like, that's the same thing. I'm just using the word assistance instead of grant because people got confused with the word grant, as you're now getting confused with the word grant. So the word grant just sort of scares the hell out of a lot of people. It's like, oh, that word grant, what does it mean? Is it how much debt am I taking off a grant? Grant means free money. It means stimulus. It means no debt. But that's why I call it assistance, because it's like, it just confuses people. Another thing I need to make very clear is that it's for rent, utilities, and food. It's not for anything that you want to choose from a catalog. Do you have grants for new do you have grants for new furniture? Do you have grants for new vacuum cleaners? It's like, the specificity of some of the comments I get are just so strange. I'm like, no, there's no grant for a refrigerator or $12 ice cream or tickets to Calcino. And then ultimately, the next thing you need to understand is EIDL. EIDL is a debt instrument. I'll say it again. EIDL is a debt instrument, but there's no debt due repaid for over a year. Well, for a year, but by the time that you get approved, it'll be over a year. So that's almost the start of 2022. No principal and interest to that date. You just apply, and it's so straightforward. SBA.gov. It's economic injury disaster. Before you apply, check your Experian Vantage 3.0 score. It needs to be 570 or higher. And if it is, go get it. Go get it. Please don't apply without checking your Experian Vantage 3.0 score, because ultimately there's three grounds to deny an EIDL. One, credit score, which is sort of ridiculous. Now we know exactly how to get approved. So why would you not do exactly the steps to get approved? Don't skip a step because you're just sort of rushing. Make sure you get the Experian Vantage 3.0 score, and make sure it's 570 before you apply, because you don't want to get denied for credit. And then you are, let me explain what I'm saying. If you get denied for credit because you didn't fix the issue of credit for 24 minutes before you applied, then you will be stuck in credit fix mode with SBA for potentially days, if not weeks. You don't want to do that. Just do it right the first time. Next, unable to verify business information. That is one of the most common errors, and it's just awful. It's because you typed something in wrong and your typing was bad skills. You typed a 4 instead of a 2, and they're like, I can't verify this person because I don't have anyone with that number. That's what happens. And people say, I didn't type it wrong. And like, yeah, you did type it wrong. Because when you go back and you provide the information, they're like, oh, now I can find you. I couldn't find you because the information you gave was wrong. Next, did not suffer economic injury or impact. Generally, the situation for that no longer manifests itself. It did early on in this EIDL process where they were not doing EIDL for certain industries. I'm not going to say which ones, but my earlier viewers knew which ones they were. And then suddenly we all sort of screamed and said, this is not right. And they then backtracked and suddenly they started proving you all in that industry. So that situation is no longer really much in existence anymore. With that, go and get it, sba.gov, and join me at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for early mornings LLA. Big coverage on that. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay alive for more.